Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Eric, also known as Dad Hats, and today we have something a little bit different to the channel. Not my usual track stuff, but I actually bought a car recently, and I kind of wanted to go over what the plan is with it, and then probably get into some of the specs and features, and specifically why I picked this model versus something a little bit different. So there you go. So we picked up this 2012 Toyota Sequoia. So basically the plan with it is just to have a sort of a tow rig, between that and having a giant dog hauler. Since I do have a 100-pound Bernese Mountain Dog, this thing is sort of going to be our all-purpose vehicle, for the family, and then being able to tow to the track. And I'll go over the interior and everything in a second, but this is the Platinum Edition. So this does have air suspension in the rear, which I think the way I parked, I'm not going to be able to show you really. Let's see. But yeah, this thing's super sweet. Came with some brand new tires too. I know they're cheap all-terrains, but new tires are new tires. So let's go over why we picked a Toyota Sequoia versus some of the other options that are on the market. In terms of an SUV, we wanted an SUV over a truck, just because we can fit more stuff on the inside and not have to worry about someone taking it out. I know trucks typically can tow more, but this thing tows, I think, 7,400, and it should be plenty enough for our use case. With my BRZ and a U-Haul trailer, should be around 5,000 in and around there. If you're not familiar with these have the 5.7 liter V8 from the Tundra. Let's pop the trunk real quick, or the hood rather. You can check out that 5.7 liter V8 that's in the Tundra. So I think this makes around 400 horsepower. I don't really remember specs. We ended up paying $16,500 for this, which is a fair price, maybe not a steal by any means, but for what we're gonna do with it, pretty happy about that. Yeah, let's get into some other options and why we picked this. Obviously we wanted an SUV because I really wanted a roll down the window, which is a very odd thing, I guess, to specifically want, but I think only the 4Runners have that. And I know those have frame issues too. I think in this generation they're only a V6, don't quote me. I'll look that up later. But yeah, being able to have the roll down tailgate is actually super sick, just so I can stick things out of it, sort of like a truck, but I can also, have that fun with the dog and then I'm sticking his head out the window. So that'll be pretty sick. Let's go over the interior, some of the fun stuff here. Let's start the car real quick. You get the nice whir of the V8. And this is actually my first V8, so let's see if we can roll that window right up. This thing actually has 156,000 miles on it. Typically these Sequoias and Tundras can go to like 300,000 miles without like a major repairs in the engine and transmission. So I'm not too worried about it, and I was pretty happy to pay the price we did. So we flipped that to 4 high. There you go, you can see it starting to blink, and then it should just go solid, and then we should be in all-wheel drive mode essentially. Pretty unique thing about these Sequoias is they do have a center locking differential, so this isn't going to be like a true 4-wheel or 4x4 drive system like in something like a Tundra. So what they have is a center diff that acts as all-wheel drive until you press this button, and then it can lock it up, and you can have the power distribution 50-50, which is pretty cool, just like your average like pickup and traditional one. But if you stick it, and if you keep it in 4 high or 4 low, it actually acts a lot more like a Subaru all-wheel drive system, is my understanding. So it can move power from like front to rear and move it around and distribute the power differently than something like a true 4-wheel drive system that should be 50-50 split from front to rear. So very cool. What are other options in the SUV category? For me, I ruled out anything American just because I don't like them and I don't think they're reliable. So I'd rather take something like this with like 156,000 miles on it that's still only half-life in theory anyway. Hopefully it lives up to its reputation. But we actually ended up test driving a Lexus GX 460, which was a little bit lighter, not as much power, but still had a V8 as standard. It's really, really nice in there, especially the interior. But these Sequoia Platinums kind of shrink that gap. We got leather seats, heated and air-cooled seats. So that's really nice. JBL sound system, which I think this door seems to be having an issue, so driver's side isn't working very well, but in theory it works well. And this is a proper third row SUV, and there's actually plenty of room, leg room back there, so I could have all the boys, we could go to the track, party, because all the partying I do, sarcastic there. But yeah, basically a little adventure vehicle for the family and my friends, honestly. So the GX460 is a lot smaller in the third row, and not that I'm going to be using it very often, but I'd like, you know, people to be comfortable. Go ahead and open up the back here. So something interesting about this hatch is actually manual and automatic. It's very odd, but the new ones, they really don't like you to manually open them. You usually need to press a button like this. So you can go ahead and close it real quick. Very nice. So you can do either. It's very weird. It's honestly really nice because most of the time I'm not used to like new vehicles. So just being able to throw it open, it's just a lot easier than having to wait for some mechanic thing to do it, or automatic thing rather. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys the third row. This third row actually folds flat. So when you fold flat, you basically use this for some wheels and tires, at least that's my idea, car parts and all that. Plenty of space, so it basically doubles as a truck in my eyes. Let's close that up. And while we have those lights on, we can check out the second row. Super comfy. You get your own HVAC system for the boys, and because I'm not planning on having kids, you can add heated seats, even for the back seats, or at least the second row rather, captain's chairs instead of the full bench for like the limited. So you do get some more capacity here. Wow, okay. Note to self, it's push and then pull, it's not like a lever. You just got to push in. That was a lot easier. But yeah, lots of storage even for the back row. I don't even think I went over that up there. But this can even fold flat. Jesus Christ. They gave us the remote and some headphones and shit that I'll probably never use. But yeah, for my adult friends that probably are going to watch Shrek back here and bother me while I'm driving, that'll be fun. Love that. So I can't do this really without with one hand. So basically you got to pull from the top for the second seats, and I'll show you that real quick. So you just pull this handle back pretty hard and it'll loosen it up. Let it go. They have these little flaps, so it completely folds flat. Now the third gen Sequoias, they don't even have this anymore. I think because they went hybrid, maybe they have some packaging issues. Those might be solid rear axle too, so maybe that explains why there's not only less leg room and less room in the third row, but then it doesn't allow it to fold flat. To me, this is like a huge selling point, just being able to throw stuff in here flat. If we wanted to go car camping, this flips up. I'm not going to move the other one, but it does completely fold flat. Yeah, pretty awesome, honestly. Absolutely love it. I want to rehash because I don't think I went over it very well. Why we picked this over like the GX460. I know the interior is a little bit better in the GX460, but this gets more power, more towing capacity, so it should be easier. It does get significantly worse fuel mileage. I think expecting somewhere around 15. I'll throw up the actual numbers in a bit, but yeah, the Platinum really brings the luxury a little bit, which I'm honestly not a huge fan of. I literally don't care. Just need some leather seats. I was willing to buy a limited trim, but this does get the airbags like the GX, so that should be good for towing. No sag for us. But yeah, the main one is that this rides significantly better than the GX460. That is thanks to the front and rear independent suspension. So IFS and IRS in the back, not that kind of IRS. This thing rides smooth as a body on frame SUV possibly can. If you ever try a GX460 or a 4Runner, try back-to-backing it with this, and even though this is like a good 1,000 pounds probably heavier, this drives significantly better because it doesn't have the live rear axle or solid rear axle in the back. Pretty happy about it, all things considered. I gotta show you guys some beauty footage later about like rust and everything. These do have a problem with rust, like most mid to 2010s Toyotas. So you got to check the frame, and I live in the Northeast. So it's very, very hard to get at anything that's not rusty. Yeah, hopefully I remember to do some B-roll rather, show you guys the underneath, because realistically it's not so bad. There's a little bit of rust on the rear cross member, which you got to look out for on these because these take a beating. Everything, all the snow and the salt in the Northeast just kills these things. So I'll try and get some footage there for you guys. Yeah, there's rust on the frame sometimes, but this one's pretty clean as you can see. Yeah, not so bad. Like I said, the rear cross member good. Has, you know, some rust as you can see, but hopefully we're going to clean that up and then get a nice coating on there so it can continue living its best life. But yeah, the main idea with this thing is that we're going to be towing, you know, regional places, more to like Watkins Glen, upstate New York, those bunch of places up there. We're actually headed to Pineview Run this weekend. We're not going to be towing quite yet with it, but yeah, I'm super excited to tow with this thing. Hopefully you guys are excited to see what we can do with it. I'm probably going to make some videos just talking about learning how to tow and that sort of thing, because it is a little anxiety inducing. I've never driven like a truck like this before, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. How do we make out? Did we make a bad decision? Do you think we should have got something else? Let me know in the comments, and peace.